Now, Washington Mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. And AM 630. WMAL.
637 on WMAL, where Washington comes to talk. It's Brian Wilson. I am joined today by James Carafano from the Heritage Foundation, and we'll be getting into tapping into your knowledge and expertise on defense and national security issues as we talk about the debate, the big national security debate tonight down in Florida. Good to have you.
Right, but Joe's coming on, right? He's going to talk, because I have law questions for him.
Okay, well, I got questions for Joe diGenova, too. He's our legal analyst. He's on the line right now. Joe, how are you?
I'm doing great, Brian. Good morning, Jim.
Hey, good to be with you there.
All right, so, Joe, I got a great one for you. All right, so I get a letter from my homeowners association. And they say, dear Mr. Wilson, this is just a reminder that, our homeowner association has very strict rules about putting signs on your property. And we just want to remind you that political signs are included in this. And so if you do have political signs up, you need to take them down immediately. And I got to thinking, I don't know. Last time I checked, the First Amendment gave me the right to express myself in the form of political speech. And we now know, according to the Supreme Court, that political advertising is protected, free political speech. Now, my question is, if I stand my ground on this, now I actually don't have any signs in my yard, but I'm about half tempted to go put some up. If I do that, would you take on my case for me? Would you represent me in a court of law if I get into trouble?
I would, but I'd tell you ahead of time you're going to lose.
What?
Yes.
Really?
You signed a homeowners agreement, and they are they're like mortgages. Unfortunately, the law of homeowners agreements and the rights of homeowners association are pretty well established. They are draconian. They're awful. My guess is there's no exception in your homeowners agreement that says that political signs are exempt. You can waive your First Amendment rights. And you've probably done that by signing the homeowners association agreement. And even if you didn't sign it, you're responsible for it.
Wait, Joe.
You can have all the free speech you want, but
the First Amendment always trumps a homeowners association agreement.
No, it doesn't.
That's hard for me to believe.
I
really?
know it's hard. You're absolutely right. It's an abomination. But for the most part, homeowners agreements are absolutely enforceable. They are literal. And they are believed to be in the best interest of the public.
Even if they suppress political speech?
It's not suppressing political speech. You agreed that you wouldn't put signs up. You didn't say that you could put up political signs. It says no signs, and that means no signs. By the way, I would be delighted to represent you and test it and force the issue and make Florida look bad, but as a lawyer, I have to tell you ahead of time you're going to lose your money.
Oh, Brian, what were you thinking?
I don't know, but I'm really, really surprised that I don't have a First Amendment argument here.
You have an argument, you just don't have a winning one.
All right, you struck out. Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Hey, I'm really excited to do this because I get asked this question all the time. I do a lot of talks for the Federalist Society. You go to the law schools, and I'm not a lawyer, so I give my layman's interpretation. But this recent case that we had in New York where a guy was trying to blow up the Fed. And the guy he was working in league with turned out to be an FBI agent who gave him some inert explosives. So, we track terrorist attacks at the Heritage Foundation, and by our count, this is the 53rd related to an Islamist plot post 9/11 that's been foiled. The 53rd attack.
That's pretty impressive in its own right. I mean, it's a stunning statistic.
But many of those are exactly like this, where an informant or an FBI agent will get in league with this guy and work with them on the plot and then take him down. So the question I always get asked is, isn't this entrapment?
No, it's not, and here's the reason. Entrapment requires the government to plant the initial seed of the crime. All of these people have what's known in the law as a predisposition to engage in the criminal act. They came to the attention of the Bureau because they expressed interest through another informant in becoming involved in jihadist activity against the United States on American soil. Once that happens, the Bureau simply sits there, talks to them. It can indeed provide an opportunity under the law. These people have the right at any time to walk away. This particular guy actually pulled the lever in order to explode the device. Of course, it wasn't a real device. It was a fake device. But the answer is, as long as there is a predisposition to commit a crime, it's not entrapment. It sort of sounds like it, and people say it all the time, but under the law, entrapment is actually very difficult to prove.
Yeah, and this is exactly like the case in Chicago where the guy wanted to blow up a bar, and they gave him the explosives, and he drove the car up, parked it in front of the bar, walked away, and hit the button. So as long as they're pretty sure nobody's going to get hurt, they'll let these guys walk all the way to the end just to have another class case going into court, right?
Well, generally speaking, they're not going to give them real explosives. Most of the time, they're substitute things. They're not real explosives.
Inert.
But yeah, inert. But in fact, this is just routine law enforcement activity. It's widely accepted in the judicial system. Very, very few cases in America are thrown out for entrapment, just like very few insanity defenses work.
All right, back to politics for a minute. There's this guy named Chris Walker. He's a British citizen.
Yes.
He makes a $5, and he tries to make a $5 internet donation to both the Romney campaigns and to the Obama campaigns. Now, when he fills out the information that they asked for, he writes down his street address in England. He says he's from the state of Arkansas, and he puts in a non-matching zip code of 12345. And so the Romney website rejects it. Say, you can't do this. This doesn't add up. Something's not right here. We're not accepting the donation. The Obama website says, thank you very much for your $5.
Right.
Now, the question is whether or not the Obama people have such a low standard of checking these things that they're really just taking any dollars that come in, whether it comes from the U.S. or from foreign nationals, which you know is not allowed. The SEC will get into this after the fact. I'm sorry, the FEC will get into this after the fact. But it never really, it's too late at that point. And nothing ever really happens there.
Now remember, the Obama people are the tech-savvy youngsters of the world. They know the technology, they love it, they live it. The truth is, this is a purposeful decision by the Obama campaign to take illegal contributions, knowing that the FEC will not do an enforcement action until afterwards, and the only penalty is to give back the money. They did this in 2008. They took millions of dollars in overseas contributions by credit cards, which were based in Asia, in Europe, in Africa, and nothing came of it because of a compliant press. They could care less about the laws of the FEC and the Obama campaign. They are clearly breaking the law. It is purposeful. If you can't design your system,
to catch that stuff,
donation system to spit back the way the Romney campaign spits back illegal contributions, it's because you don't want to spit them back.
All right. Well, Joe diGenova, our legal analyst, it's always good to have you.
Good to talk to you guys. Nice to talk to you, Jim.
Yep. Talk to you later.